And Matt, hi and welcome.
Hi.
Can you please share with us, Matt, your story of injustice today? Conducting international business can be difficult and can be a complicated endeavour both legally and profitably, which is all the more reason that when overseas corporations partner with local representatives, a sense of teamwork and support is required so that all sides can work together to achieve a successful outcome. Unfortunately for Matt, this perspective was not shared when he undertook to bringing out a major American fashion line to Australia, only to find the corporation was happy to accept his work for free, but then charged him a fee when business didn't go their way.
Back in 2015, I sought out the Intimate Britney Spears collection brand, which I wasn't actually aware of, had been released a few months prior to 2015. Came across a YouTube video and thought I'd look more into it. And long story short, I ended up contacting Change Lingerie, who actually had the name rights to the brand on behalf of Britney Spears, and ended up becoming the Australian licensee holder for the brand to release it here in Australia. A few months after I had signed the agreement, I was then informed that Britney had cancelled the brand. By that stage, I'd already got the wheels in motion, had marketing kind of set aside, was contacting local media, like, Channel 10, your Heralds, your Weeklies, that sort of thing, Kiss FM. And pretty much was in a position where I thought, okay, I could cut my losses and run, or I could try and salvage all the hard work that I'd put in and keep it going. So I decided for the latter and thought, well, if I can prove to them that there actually is a market here and things are actually picking up, then perhaps, Britney might change her mind. And so I kept going, had meetings with the women's intimate apparel buyer for Maya. As time went on, I was working on auditioning models. I had big brand names and media basically waiting for this launch to happen. I was chasing Britney's management to try and confirm her attendance at the launch, which in itself was a mission. And after several false starts, I could tell that things weren't going to happen. I did actually establish contact with her manager, but her manager and her publicist kept saying, no, she's not available, she can't make it. So I was left with a brand that was going nowhere. I'd spent so much time, probably about 18-hour days, for the first 3 months, setting up the website, all the researching I'd done, putting what little money I had into trying to get something, be it resources or promotion. And to make matters even worse, after all this had happened and I had tried my best to get something off the ground, I then received a $3,000 bill basically from Change Lingerie saying that the promotional stock that they had sent me, which wasn't used and I wanted sent back, I had to pay for. So I was like, wait on, how can you throw a bill at me when I've done all this work pretty much for nothing on my own coin? Getting my resources together, getting little or no support from them anyway throughout the process. So yeah.
Absolutely. It's an incredible story, Matt. Can you explain for me how you think justice could or should have been served in your experience?
Well, I suppose, some of it probably comes back to myself in that I should have been a bit more assertive in saying, well, I want to see figures. I want to know what support or what level of support you are going to offer me, because it's not a franchise, so I haven't paid for, that kind of package whereby they obviously would have something in place to kind of assist. But it was a very extraordinary scenario, I guess, the fact that I had, sought them out and became the exclusive licensee for Australia. Don't know if they've done that anywhere else before, but it was just, they could have at least offered to, I suppose, more financially to kind of back some of the promotion that I was instigating.
So, I'm still getting my head around it in a way. Business.
And the fact that, like I said, I was on Centrelink. Obviously, I didn't tell them that I was transparent, but to a point, because I obviously had to show that I was a professional person, which I am, and that I had the means and ability to actually take that brand and release it here in Australia. So the fact that I signed the agreement, because I never actually received a copy signed by them, shows that I obviously had met some kind of benchmark that they were happy with for them to actually allow me to move forward and become the licensee. So the fact that they were happy to sign me up, but they weren't happy to kind of help me build a brand which was for their benefit either. So that was even more confusing. It's like, well,
So what I really want to know is what happened to this bill, Matt? Was there any resolution?
Basically, it's at the point where I thought, well, maybe I should play the game and send them a bill for the 2.5 years I worked for them for nothing.
Matt, it sounds like you've got a lot of ambition and drive. And I think what you've brought to the table here is really important for young or any entrepreneurs out there. What wisdom can you imbue to our viewers about your experience of what's happened in your story of injustice?
Well, I guess, which is part of my job anyway, is research. I'm constantly on, online, looking up, trying to solve my own legal issues if I have any. Obviously, reaching out to networks of people that may be in business, be it entrepreneurs. There's a lot of Facebook groups and pages that actually cater to entrepreneurs and startups. So I definitely talk with a lot of people in maybe similar situations. Obviously, if you know someone who's gone through something close to the same scenario, then that's obviously going to be of benefit as well. But being that I was brought up with nothing, so I'm used to having nothing, I always basically work to try and do better for myself. So it's kind of, I guess it's based on a case-by-case scenario as to what sort of advice that an individual would need to, I guess, overcome their circumstance. So.
Thank you so much, Matt, for bringing your unique story, but very interesting and important story for anyone that wants to start up their own business and bring their entrepreneurial skills to our economy. Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Monica, for sharing your stories as well.
You're welcome.
I'd also like to invite anyone out there who is of the medical or legal profession, anyone that could step forward and speak to us and come on board and talk to our viewers and also any of our guests about stories of injustice from the other side representing the system and what's in place to assist people, providing information and practical support. You're very welcome to come and be with us. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Janelle De Silva. It's the Injustice Series.